with coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 8's Good Morning Connecticut.
Thanks, Mark. Halloween is a fun time for most of us, but for some of our four-legged friends, it can actually be kind of a nightmare. Joining us this morning is Vicki and Richard Horowitz from Barkbusters.
Good day.
Thank you for coming in this morning.
Good morning.
And tell us who this is.
This is Lucy, a 7-month-old Labradoodle.
Oh, you're very sweet.
She is a sweet dog.
She's very well behaved.
Yes, she is. Work on it.
We can get the camera down to the dog now. All right, well, we'll get Lucy in a little bit. So tell us, what is the problem with Halloween? I think people don't really think about their dogs when they're thinking about Halloween.
Well, actually, this is going to be Lucy's first Halloween. And she's got a nice temperament, and she'd probably do very well with costumes and so on. But costumes are a main concern on Halloween.
Okay. It scares the dogs. They're not used to it.
They don't really recognize people with costumes on. So we say if you're going to introduce costumes, even if you're any family members, whether it's children, adults, or even your pets, that you want to introduce them by putting them on the floor, letting them smell them, let them get comfortable with them. And the last thing to put on when you leave the house is a mask, because dogs don't recognize their family members with a mask on, so they should.
Is the concern that they could attack you, or they just don't?
They don't recognize you, and they can get very anxious. And I mean, ultimately, they could attack, but it's not the most likely situation.
Okay. And with people, strangers coming to the door, that's their territory, and with so many, and with masks on and stuff.
It's really frightening to the dogs. And actually, we tell our owners to put their dogs in a different room. Maybe put some music on to distract the dog. Also, we tell our owners to keep a collar and tags on their dog in the event that the dog ever gets out. There you go. If the dog ever gets out of the house, it can be identified.
Sure, because you're opening the door so often, and there's so much going on with the kids and the candy. I mean, they can sneak right out.
Speaking of candy, absolutely.
Yeah. And
no, you want the candy.
And candy is a problem because people don't realize that chocolate, the artificial things in the candy are really harmful for dogs.
Toxic
and
for
it's
dogs.
very toxic. And even if they get the wrappers, people will forget and they'll find wrappers, and dogs will get to those too. So you want to be very careful they don't get to those, as well as get to candles, where if there's a pumpkin and
if they're scented or something,
they're scented, as well as if they knock them over because they get so excited with their tails, they knock over the pumpkins, and you can have a fire. So you have to be really careful with pumpkins and candles, and
so
as well as candy.
You recommend not giving dogs any chocolate at all?
Absolutely not.
None.
No, not even the wrappers, because there could be some chocolate right on the wrapper.
We actually recommend that dogs don't get any people food at all. They just stick to dog food.
Don't come over to my house then.
Unless it's healthy things like carrots and things.
Oh, sure. That's now, a lot of people like to dress up their dogs. How do you feel about that?
It really depends on the personality of the dog. It's not the worst thing in the world. Our dog at home wears a bandana, a Halloween bandana. But some people will dress their dog up. You have to know your dog and how they're going to react. And even with that, you may want to have the costume out so the dog gets used to it, can sniff it, check it out before you actually put it on, and then put it on slowly so they get accustomed to it.
Okay. Now, have you guys dealt with anybody hurting dogs at Halloween? I know sometimes that's an issue with cats. I mean, do you ever hear about that with dogs? I mean, just, mischief night, that kind of thing?
No, but we do recommend that people do not keep their dogs out at night because it's a very stressful time. There's lots of new noises, there's yelling, there's different things they're not used to, and dogs don't do well with change. And so as normal as you can keep their environment, by bringing them inside. We don't even recommend people take their dogs out with them when they're going trick-or-treating on leash. Because it's really not a happy time for them.
No?
Dogs don't like things to be different. They like things to always be the same.
I almost would think that would be a good safety thing for you to do, to have the dog, because people might not,
it can be, but it's because there's so much activity going on. Children get very excited. They do a lot of running around. They do a lot of yelling. They don't recognize the children. It becomes very stressful for them, and you're putting your dog in an opportunity to make a mistake by jumping up on knocking somebody's child down or whatever. So we just recommend that you keep them home, you put them in a comfortable place, you have music on, and you just don't get in the middle of that.
Okay, great. Good tips. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Richard.
Thank
Vicki Horowitz with Barkbusters, and of course you can log on to her. And Lucy. Let's not forget about Lucy, the Labradoodle. She's good now. She's very quiet.
She's a good dog.
You can log on to our website, WTNH.com, click on the Good Morning Weekend Connecticut section, and we will have all of that information for you.